Folks, in this video, I'm going to show you a game I just played against the best 900 player I've ever seen in my life. Now, I started playing games again at the Marshall Chess Club in New York City. I'm trying to get the National Master title. I'm 2200 on chess.com, and now I want to do it over the board. I'm going to make a series called My Journey to National Master, and I'm going to show all my games I played in the tournaments and upload them to YouTube. Now, last night I played in a tournament, and I can't upload all the games because a lot of the games came down to blitz, and I don't have the score sheets to reflect all the moves at the end because we blitzed them out. But this first game, I do have all the moves for, and I'm going to show you this game, but most importantly because this is a 900 rated player, and this brings up an interesting topic. A lot of players are playing chess online now. And what's happening is they're getting their skill level really high, and then they're coming into the tournaments, and their rating does not reflect their skill level. So I think chess is becoming much, much tougher over the board because you really can't sleep on anybody anymore. Anyway, when you watch this game, I want you guys to put down in the comments below what you think his actual rating should be, what it really is, or in other words, what his actual skill level is. Kudos to him. He played a great game. And anyway, without further ado, let's dive into it. Let's play some chess here. Okay, so I had the white pieces, and my opponent played the French defense. Okay, the main line here is knight f6, and then we play e5, kicking out the knight. The knight goes to d7, and then we play knight f3. But he didn't play that. He played c5. Okay, so he mixed it up a little bit, and now he plays knight f6. Okay, now I play e5, and we get pretty much the same position that you get in the main line, just through transposition here. Okay, so here I just covered this pawn, and he should just take the pawn here. It's actually going to win a pawn, so he should take. I can't take with the queen because of his knight, so I have to take with this knight, and then that essentially gives up this pawn. But and that's a known pawn sacrifice, but he didn't go for it. He played queen b6, keeping up the pressure. And here I just castled away. I'm not concerned about him taking over here. If he takes over here, I would probably just play knight b5. And I'm actually doing really well. Actually, probably winning, as you can see by the bar here. I have all these threats, and the queen is kind of stuck. So that's not a good idea to take. So after I castled, my opponent just took the pawn. That's a good move. And I played knight b5. Okay, now my opponent plays bishop c5, which is okay, I guess. But I just sank my knight into d6, and the point is he has to get rid of that bishop unless he wants to forfeit the right to castle and leave my knight on an excellent square. So he took the knight, and now I get a nice pawn on d6, and I have the bishop pair. Now here, but he is up a pawn here, and he has and more importantly, he has a really good pawn center. So this is why this made the game uncomfortable for me actually right away. So here he castled, and also, you can never underestimate your opponent. And I think maybe it was my first over-the-board game in a long time, probably in about a year. And I just played this move right away. I played bishop d3, which is a pretty big mistake. And because I did it, seeing that he had e5, kicking out my bishop, attacking this bishop, and then which would allow him to play e4, forking my bishop and my knight. However, I thought after this I had the Greek gift. However, it doesn't work because after all this, and I come here, he just simply can come to knight f6 and defend. Now, I saw that after I played it, and I realized I didn't have it. I'm not sure why I thought I had it. Again, I just played it pretty quickly, actually. So my opponent correctly just plays e5, and now he's completely winning. So as you can see by the evaluation bar, my opponent's just, he's coming forward now. And I'm like, oh no, I'm trying to become a national master here. I'm trying to go on a winning streak here. And my first game, I'm getting crushed by a 900. So I moved my bishop out of the way, and I had a little idea here. So he goes for the aforementioned pawn e4, forking the bishop and knight. Now I throw in this in-between move here, and he should just take, and when I take back, just slide the rook over. But he took he moved the rook over first, and now I had a little trap for him, which I thought he was going to fall for. Again, a 900 probably should fall for this, but I played knight g5. Now, the trap is if he takes the bishop and wins a piece, there's mate in 3, and there's no way to stop checkmate. If he tries to block it this way, we have check, check, and checkmate. And if he tries, well, this doesn't even work at all, because after this is checkmate. Now, he does have, and of course, this is checkmate on the spot. Now, he does have an interesting move here. I was looking at before. He could play knight f6 here, let's say. And now after this check, here, check. I'm sorry, not that. I would lose my my queen. We go bishop f6, threatening checkmate. Now he can't take because he gets checkmated. So he has to play rook g8. And here I just drop back to h5. If he takes my bishop, he gets checkmated. And if he plays this, he gets checkmated on the spot because he can't take because the bishop pins. So now that was, again, now that's really hard to see, all that stuff, especially for a 900. So I thought there was a decent chance he would take my bishop. And I don't mean to be cocky or anything, but when you do see a big gap in the rating, you think there's really no way your opponent can beat you. So you kind of think the game's just going to work out for you, which is a really wrong approach to the game of chess. You have to play, your rating's not going to play the game for you. You have to play the right moves. But to his credit, he did not take the bishop. He played h6, stuffing that whole idea. And now he's just attacking the knight and bishop. So he's going to win a piece now. So it looked like I might have been able to get out, but I didn't. So now I had to just kind of summon my the ghost of Paul Morphy here. And I just dove in with knight f6. And I said, I don't want to play a slow game where he just has or a balanced game where he just has an advantage, a big advantage, and there's not a lot going on. I wanted to mix things up, get his king out in the open, and just try to, overwhelm him with tactics. So here he took the knight. I threw in a check. He blocked, and my idea was I get this pawn. Not only do I get the pawn, I get the pawn with check, and then after the king comes here, I get this pawn. So I get 3 pawns, and his king's loose. Black's better here, but I managed to, muddy the water, so to speak, a little bit. But here my opponent just plays a good, solid move, knight e5, and he's pretty much saying, I'm going to start trading down pieces and just kind of, liquidate my advantage, consolidate, and win. But actually, although it looks like a good move, and I thought it was a good move at the time, the game is actually completely balanced here. The game, all of a sudden, as crazy as that is completely balanced. Now, I should have played queen f4, attacking the square, but for some reason, I played queen h4, which is a mistake. But anyway, my opponent correctly took the bishop. I take back, and now my opponent takes the bishop on d3. So he's liquidating. He's just trading down pieces like you should, left me with an isolated pawn, and then just plays bishop f5 going for this pawn. Now, another thing that I learned through playing chess by playing with really strong players is they never get nervous, or they never let the opponent see that they're nervous, and they always feel like they have a way out. They always look at the good things in their position. They're very optimistic, and I try to always have that in me. So actually at this stage of the game, it might sound crazy, but I wasn't really too nervous about this position. Now, a big mistake here would be defending the pawn. And we really can't get too passive here. Yes, you're defending the pawn, but your rook, which is a powerful piece, is now doing nothing. It's covering like 1-2 squares, right? So I actually just put my rook on an open file and said, go ahead, take my pawn. When you do, I'm going to develop my rook, hit your bishop, win a tempo, and all my pieces are going to be, at the very least, involved in the action, and your king's loose, so who knows what happens. So again, my opponent took here. I played rook d1, and now he should have just played bishop f5, and he has a significant advantage. I cannot take this pawn with the rook because it looks like I'm defending it, but he just simply could play g5 here, and there's no square I can go to that saves the rook. I would have to move my queen out of the way to not lose my queen, and then I would drop the rook. So I'd have to take that with the queen at some point. Anyway, this is where the 900 showed his true colors, and he started behaving like a 900 again. So I was really happy about that. So he played queen b5, which is a very big blunder, which swings the whole game in my favor, as you can see by the evaluation bar. And I'm sure a lot of you can see what I played here. It's pretty basic. Again, the king's out in the open. The bishop's being hit once. How can I hit the bishop again with tempo? Queen d4 check, hitting the bishop, and now I'm completely winning. King f7, and then we don't take with the queen. That actually pretty much kills the whole game for me. I mean, he gets this pawn, and now, yeah, I'm up a pawn, but rook endgames are pretty tough. I don't really want to play this. This is very hard to win, actually. So a much easier way to go is because his king is not safe, is to just build up the pressure, take with the rook. This is absolutely winning. My opponent took the pawn here, and now I just simply took the rook. That's the best move. And then played the next best move again, queen g7. My opponent moves forward. And, well, if he moves back here to any of the back rank, like he can only go here. If anything, I can just take the rook, and, that would be good. Actually, I cannot take the rook. Not right away, at least, because my rook's hit. But I can throw in a check, and then after the king moves, then I could take the rook. So my opponent had to move forward, throw in another check, and here I played g5. He took, and now I played queen takes g6. If my opponent has two squares to go to. If he goes here, we have rook e4, and then we have checkmate. So for that reason, my opponent came to f4, and now I actually have mate in two. It's not hard to see. I have rook e4, and then I have actually checkmate right here. So, however, I thought I saw something else, and I thought I could just take this pawn first with check and then go for checkmate. And I thought I was just completely going to win after I just take the pawn with check. And what I was seeing is, if he comes to this rank, he's going to lose the queen. And if he comes here to this square, again, I have rook e4 when we go into that whole mating net. However, I missed that he blocks with the queen, and it's with check. Now, I saw that he could block with the queen, but I didn't see it was with check at the time. And I was preparing, if he did this, to throw in this in-between move, check. He would have to take, and then I win his queen. But I can't do that because I'm in check right now. So unfortunately, I didn't see that, but I'm still winning. It just made the game a little bit annoying. I threw in a check here. I brought my king up. And now I'm definitely winning here, but my opponent could have played much better. He really wants to, I have a pass pawn here and here, but this one's really dangerous. He has to really keep an eye on that and probably just hold it at bay as best he can. But what happens is he went on the offense here. Actually, he played rook d8. And then after I just pushed, again, he should be holding this pawn or doing something or trying to cut it off as best he can. But unfortunately for him, he went for a counterattack. But it's way too slow because my pawn's running up the board. And he gobbled up a couple of pawns here. And after this, it's no good. He came back. He fought on a little bit. Came back here. You don't take the rook here. You play this. He blocked. And then we just have this position. Whoops, not that. We just have a ladder mate. And after this, my opponent was checkmated. Anyway, this brings up an interesting topic. Like I said, a lot of players are a lot better than they are. If you play in over-the-board tournaments, be prepared. Everyone's playing on chess.com now. Everyone's good. 900s, 800s, 500s. I don't care what they are. They're way better than their rating. You could be playing at 2300. I know a guy who was 1200, and he was 2300 on chess.com. And he had his rating from 10 years ago when he was a kid. And then he finally comes back and plays over the board at the Marshall, and he's beating masters left and right. And he was tanking everybody's rating. So it's harder than ever. I don't know if the United States Chess Federation should put some measures in to protect this. Maybe I would think if a person hasn't played chess over the board in a while, make their ratings provisional again. In other words, if they took a 2-year hiatus or whatever, make their ratings provisional again, because you don't know what their skill level is. The skill level can be completely different after 2 years. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? And as always, if you like these videos, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe below, and I'll catch you next time.